It's your boy King David. I'm back at it with another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about the journey and how it's been for me. I'm not going to put my day out there or nothing like that, but I'm just going to talk about, some of the benefits that I've noticed since I've been on this journey. And like, let's point out the obvious, guys. Like, you get more energy and you're able to like focus better on like your tasks, guys. So, uh, what's gonna happen is your frequency is gonna change, guys, and like you'll notice like a big difference in the way you are presented to people. So, what I've noticed, like, if you do retention, you're gonna like start to like go towards more like of an organic lifestyle, guys. Like a lot of people decide to like start eating cleaner, eating better, working out, taking care of their bodies, and getting in better shape when they're on retention. So, why does that happen? Like, I noticed one thing with me is like I felt more dense. I was like clearly walking one day and it just felt like my body was heavier and like more full, like my muscles were fuller. So, why does this happen, guys? Uh, I think a lot of people just talk about retention and like they don't like explain some of the things. So I'll put it in like the simplest terms and I'll put it in more of like a scientific reason for why this happens. Um, so basically, when you're retaining, your testosterone increases. Like I've said before, guys, like that's one of the first thing that's going to happen within 7 days. Your testosterone is going to increase. Um, a lot of people think that it like goes up that high and then it just stops, right? And then you just go to back to baseline, which is true, guys. Like you do go back to baseline for a moment, but then what I've heard is that your testosterone is more steady, which is true, guys. Like there are other studies, but it's hard to find these like um, this research on it and stuff. So basically what happens is like you're going to notice like a more like efficient testosterone in your body because like it's being reabsorbed. So like here's the thing, guys, like gotta chill out for a little bit. You're gonna notice a lot of different things happening to you when you're on retention that you wouldn't have noticed if you weren't on retention. Like that's like the first thing that happens, guys. Like a lot of people think that like when you're doing a retention that you should only go for like a week or a month or something like that. I think like the goal is to go past 90 days and then like go at least I feel like at least 1 year of retention is like the goal for a man these days, right? If you're like into semen or into retention, right, guys? So basically, nothing's bad is gonna happen to you guys. Like, don't worry about that. But what is gonna happen is you're kind of like resetting the clock on your body. I feel like that's the best way to explain it. Like a lot of people like put it in different terms, but your like metabolism changes, your the way you view things changes. You're not as like eager to like be with any girl. Like and then you notice like the beauty of like a woman more too. So it's not just about like women in general, but if you think about it, it's like if your testosterone's higher, you're gonna attract a more like feminine woman. And if your testosterone's higher, you're just gonna like act more like a man, right? Like you're gonna be more like of a manly kind of a person. You know what I mean? And this can be like this is always going to be a good thing, especially nowadays, you know what I mean? But like this can be like seen in like a bad way to like certain people because like when you're not releasing a lot, people are gonna like look at you differently because they're gonna be thinking like from their perspective of like what they normally do is like the normal to them. It's like, and I don't want to consider like I don't want to compare it to like smoking or drinking or anything like that because it's nothing like that, guys. It's like you're just different, and like you eventually get to a point where you're more like silent about it, right? Like I make these videos to like inform people and stuff like that on it, and it's pretty good. Like I like talking about just random stuff too in my videos. So um, what happens like with retention is like you get to a point where you've been doing it so long that it becomes like more natural for you to retain than to not retain, right? And when that happens, you'll notice like a big shift in like how women perceive you. Like women might think like you're not interested in them because like you're a little different from the like average guy, but they're like more attracted to you because you're not really interested in them. You know what I mean? In a way, like you're still like you still admire them. Like if they're good looking, not admire, I shouldn't say admire, but like you still, um, notice like if they look good. You know what I mean? If they look good, you're gonna notice that. But it's like when you see a girl, you're not really like as like pressed on her. Like, and when you press on her, like your words come out more smooth. Like, I feel like your words are like more like put together when you're talking to somebody. Um, Probably because like a lot of like the information that's in our seed is gone to our brain. You know what I mean? Like I've tried to like explain it more detailed in like other videos and stuff like that. But like when you're on a long streak, you could just tell the difference in like mannerism. I feel like when you're retaining compared to like when you're not retaining, guys. Um, you're going to act more like what you're supposed to be, like your default setting, like back when you were like young but not young, you know what I mean? Because you're older, like so you're like more mature in a way, right? I feel like that's not always the case, but it's like you're connected to the divine source. I feel like that's the best way of explaining it, guys. Like every time I talk about retention, it's like I want you to know that it's like when you're connected to the divine source in like a spiritual path, or you're retaining for a reason, and it's like a good reason. It's not just like for like superficial stuff. Like you're gonna like notice like big differences in your life and like how people view you, and like I feel like that's probably the most important thing in life, guys. Like I don't think that everybody retains because like they think to release is a normal thing, especially nowadays, right? Because it's so like put in your face. So it is what it is. Like I'm not judging anybody for like because I was in the same boat not that many years ago. You know what I mean? So it's like you're a part of like this whole matrix in itself, but at the same time, you kind of like understand that you are a little bit different from everybody else in a way. So you're gonna go through stages. You're gonna go through these like strange like stages of your life, and some things are gonna happen, and you're just gonna be kind of like confused of why they happen and like what's gonna happen next, and you don't know exactly. It becomes more like, but you're a little bit more excited. You understand like things like when they're gonna happen too, guys. Like that's a big one. Like you can kind of like anticipate, not even anticipate. Like you can kind of like predict. I feel like predict is a good word to put out there when something is going to happen. Like your prediction is not always right, but it's like it's more accurate. So I feel like that's the connection with the divine source in itself because you're able to uh, kind of know what's going to happen in the near future, if that's possible. You know what I mean? I think like it's hard to explain it because it's like when you dream, guys, like when you dream, like you're more connected into the astral realm. And when you're more connected into the astral realm, like you can like see your future in your dream in a way, right? I think that only people that like don't, release a lot are able to do that. I mean, obviously if you're young you can do that, but it's like I feel like retention taps into your imagination. And imagination is probably the most important thing you can have, right? Uh, and that's like a gift from God in itself, you know? It's so you gotta be retaining if you want to be more creative or you want to be more like tapped in to the spiritual path, guys. Like that's what it's about, like in my opinion. I'm sorry, like I'm a little bit off today, but I'm just trying to like gather my thoughts. I've been in a place for like I've been like somewhere else for about 20 days, guys, is what I meant to say. And I'm just trying to like come back to realization of like what I'm doing. Sometimes we, digress. Like I feel like when you like put your phone down for a while and you're just like using like a TV or something like that, coming back to like what you're doing is a bit harder to do. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of information. I feel like we were meant. Try not to make this video too long, guys, but I feel like we were meant to not like look at our phones that often. You know what I mean? Or like the computer screen. I think a lot of people know this, but they don't realize like how much like we get sucked into these devices. And like when you don't watch it for a while, you feel like kind of like you need to watch it again. You know what I mean? Because it's like so like connected to you and you're always touching it and you're always like using it for something nowadays. It's like when you're not connected into like the computer or something like that, it feels weird. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like when you stop for a little while, like with anything. But guys, like it feels good to be back. And it feels good to be back and good to talk about just life in general, guys. So uh, stay on your path, stay on your journeys, like I always say, and keep your head up, guys, because it gets tough. Like I feel, I'm gonna say one more thing about it, right, guys? I feel like when you're retaining, um, you're like more tapped into like knowing like who's kind of like on your side or not. You know what I mean? Like when you're releasing, guys, I feel like when you're releasing, you're just like cool with everybody. Like you're shaking everybody's hands. You're like just cool with whoever. You're like talking to people. And like you might be saying too much or you might be saying just what you want to say. I feel like when you retain, like you're a bit more closed off to people because you don't really know like what they're about or what they've done in the past. And you think like in a deeper perspective than other people. You know what I mean? I feel like some people are like closed off, but they're closed off because they're mean or they're like not like I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but I'm just saying like they're closed off to certain people just because they feel like I'm not talking about anybody. You know what I mean? I'm trying to like not direct my energy towards anybody, guys. Like I'm just being honest right here, guys. I feel like people don't understand you when you're doing retention. And when people don't understand you, uh, they don't know how to act around you, I guess, right? And it's like you act different than they act. Energies don't mesh. So it is what it is. I think with retention, there's almost like a more chillness though. Like they respect you in a way. Like not talking about people in general, but I'm just saying like people can kind of feel that like energy about you. You know what I mean? So, stay on your retention journeys, guys. So, sorry, I'm just all over it today, guys. So, watch the next video I'm gonna be coming out with pretty soon. And peace out. Have a blessed day.